What's up, everybody? Daren here. I'm getting ready to, or I'm actually started on a new trip starting today. Spent most of the day driving across Texas, and I'll explain where I'm at here in a minute. But just want to explain this time I'm going out solo by myself, and then in a few days, a buddy of mine from work, Jordan, is going to head out on his own, and we're going to meet up together over in Bears Ears National Monument over in Utah. And since we both got 4Runners, we figured we'd start a collaborative effort. So we're calling it Space City Runner. We're naming it after kind of after our job and passion over in Houston, where we take care of the astronauts and teach them how to do spacewalks. So right now I'm on my own. Spent most of the day driving towards Amarillo. I actually stopped off at Caprock Canyon State Park. Never been here before, but I'm definitely going to book a trip to come back because it's pretty cool so far. I haven't yet hiked around or anything, but just to give you an idea, my campsite is down in there. You can just barely make out the blue front tire, front corner of my 4Runner over there. And I guess I'm in the equestrian area, so this is where they have people with horses come, but they didn't care if I wanted to camp over here, and it gave me a little bit more room. But then if we pan around, you can see I've got another neighbor over there. So this place is just crawling with a whole bunch of bison. I don't know what the deal is. I guess it's sort of a wildlife preserve. But that's pretty cool. They're walking around. They do warn you about not getting too close to them, so that'll be interesting if one charges me, but hopefully we can be friends. And then over here, it's a little harsh right now with the sun. And I'm hoping once the sun goes down, just right at that magic moment, to get some good pictures and video of the orange canyon walls over here. So anyway, just kicking things off today. I've got like 3 or 4 days on my own before Jordan meets up with me. I'm going to spend the night here, get up early, keep on driving up into Colorado. Unfortunately, a lot of the passes in Colorado are already snowed over, but there's a couple places kind of in south central Colorado that I think are still going to work out. There's Cuchara Peak. There's a trail up to it. Hopefully I can get up at least partway up there. And then Medano Pass, as far as I know, it's still open, so I'm going to try to head over that section of the mountains there, drop into the sand dunes area, and then I'll book it over towards Utah, and we'll see where it goes from there. Hello once again. So not a whole lot of footage from today, but I did want to show you one thing before I head to bed. Since I'm doing this trip alone, I can set the tent up, and I'm sure I will at some point. But I wanted to try one other option. So went ahead and set up a sleep station in the back. I laid the seats down, but I actually took out the bottom part of the seat, so I took the headrests off to get a few extra inches of room up there. Anyway, I got my pillow there, got a couple of thin air mattresses, and then my sleeping bag. You can see I got my cooler and boxes and all the gear pushed to one side. So we'll see how it goes. Might be super chilly tonight, but it's worth a shot. Let's see how it goes. Alright, good morning. Day 2 for Daren, at least. Jordan's still back in Houston. But I had a good first night, except it got pretty cold, about down to 28 degrees. Stayed warm in the car, although I probably should have had some more ventilation. I think I needed some more fresh air than with all the doors closed. But it's a beautiful day, and some of my buddies are over here. They've already gotten their breakfast. Focus. There they are. Some of the bison just hanging out. Alright, time to get on the road. So had a pretty good night, first night, trying to sleep in the 4Runner instead of in the tent. But it got pretty cold. I guess, I just brought, well, I have a thicker sleeping bag up in the tent, but the one I have in the car is smaller. I didn't think it would get quite so cold in the vehicle. So I'm headed up to Walmart just south of Amarillo. I'll see if they have, maybe I can get a cheap blanket to kind of cover up while I'm inside the vehicle. And I might see if I can get some, I brought some warm socks and warm thermals and that kind of stuff, but I didn't think on the first day I'd be feeling the cold quite so much, so might need to add a little bit to my collection. We'll see. It's not like it was snowing or anything. That's one concern I have, is if it rains or snows and things get wet, then might start running low on warm clothes. But otherwise, it was a good night. Caprock Canyon State Park is pretty cool. I got to see sunrise and get some pictures of some bison, and I saw a couple bucks. I didn't see any of the prairie dogs, but I'm hoping to go back someday and get to meet the prairie dogs. And Texas. There was some decent scenery along the way, cutting through the park. So I should be up to Walmart in about an hour. We'll see if I can get a few more things to make the cold nights a little bit more comfortable. And I'm going to keep trying the in-car camping, but you know, if it gets really bad, then I can just set up the tent. And I think things will be better because I know I've stayed in there when it's really cold and everything worked out really well. It's just a little bit more set up and tear down for when it's just me by myself. But otherwise, it's going to be several hours of highway driving today. Trying to get up to Trinidad, Colorado, where I'll head west. And that's where the Cuchara, I'm not sure how you say it, Cuchara Peak is at. There's some national forest land there. So that's kind of my short goal. You know, if that doesn't pan out, I can keep driving on up to Caprock Pass. But I'd rather not rush through these parts of Colorado because all the western parts are snowed in, so I know I'm not going to really get any trails other than the first part before I head all the way over to Utah. So I'm trying to take my time and see what I can enjoy before I haul over to Utah to meet up with Jordan. Alright, so found a Walmart in Canyon, just south of Amarillo, and spent more time there than I wanted to, but I think it was a good deal because I got some, I think 2 or 3 pairs of pants that are fleece lined, and that just sounded like the perfect solution. I do have some thermals that I brought with me I can wear under them, but man, just fleece-lined pants, that sounds wonderful. So hopefully that'll help keep me warmer, especially at night, you know, when I'm just laying in the cold. I got another kind of a jacket that's got fleece lining as well. Didn't see any fleece-lined socks, just have some regular socks. I got a comforter. It's kind of like a fake down comforter. I figure that will also help solve some of the coldness, and maybe I can even, because it's a king size, maybe I can even put part of it underneath me and make the bed a little softer. So that's all good. Stopped in Torchy's Tacos on the way through Amarillo. There was a big Jeep get together there, and inevitably, you know it, one of them had to park their wheel on top of their buddy's Jeep's wheel and show how they can crawl even in the parking lot. But the tacos were good. It was a good stop. Oh, and one more thing. So I got a dash cam running, and you know, it's just hopefully I never need it for an accident kind of deal, but I think I've already got my money's worth out of it because I've captured 2 times or 2 vehicles that have passed me with gigantic tumbleweeds stuck in the front of their car in the air intake, probably because the tumbleweed was just rolling across the road and they slammed into it at 80 miles an hour. I wouldn't be surprised if I have one stuck on the front of the 4Runner right now. I haven't stopped to check, but I know I hit at least a couple of them. I just figured they'd blow on by, but that was hilarious seeing the tumbleweed stuck in the front of those cars. So I'm going to try to pull that video from the dash cam and splice that in. Hopefully because it's real wide angle, hopefully you can still see it. That's what's keeping me entertained right now is the tumbleweeds. I'm going to keep chugging. Should be able to get up into Colorado and over to the Cuchara area. I forget the name of the park that I might stay at. Purgatoire. Sounds like purgatory. Maybe that's a bad idea, but that's where I'm headed for tonight. We'll see what it looks like. That's just my first option, and I'm hoping I'll get in there by 4 p.m. local time, because I'll cross over into mountain time. That's about it. hilarious. Alright, so it's about 4 p.m., 4:15 p.m. local. I crossed over into mountain time. Made it to Purgatoire, but I decided to keep on going. I was looking at the map, and there were a couple other campgrounds that were closer to Cuchara Peak, and then I also found a site where some guys talked about hiking up there or driving up there to go do some hiking, and they even suggested you could camp up there. Unfortunately, none of my research gave me a good weather report. You know, it said clear sunny skies, but it didn't tell me that they had already had quite a bit of snow, and it's actually pretty light in this section. I just stopped since it's safe to stop here with a wide spot. So I came up most of the way to Bear Lake and some other, whatever the two camp spots are, and it just was getting pretty deep, and I don't have chains with me, so my tires were handling pretty good, but there were definitely some slippy spots, and I think the weather said it's going to snow tonight, so as much as I really want to go up there, I think it's probably best if I head back and look for something that has maybe a little bit less snow base. So unfortunately, I'm also running out of daylight because I'm on the east side of the mountains, so I gotta keep going if I'm gonna find somewhere before it gets too dark. Alright, so I didn't have to go too far. Went back up to Cuchara Pass. It's about 10,000 feet there. I was headed back to Purgatoire, but then I thought, you know, let me take this other trail, because I know it said there was some other stuff this way. And so now I'm at the John Farley Vista Point. I passed a couple people coming out of here. One couple, they didn't have four-wheel drive, they got stuck, so this local pulled them out. But the local, he said it was okay to camp here. He said nobody would be bugging me back here, so hopefully that's true. Just looking to spend the night. But the view is pretty nice. Let's see here. That's where I came from. Back down that way. It wasn't too far. A mile at most. And then here's the vista. It's a really cool formation down there. So I'm not sure. Let's see. So I came from over there. I'm not sure which one of those mountains Cuchara Peak is, but I think it might be hidden by this one in front of me. Needless to say, though, it was snowed over and just wasn't a good place for this trip. So maybe next year. I'm just kind of parked here in the lot. Doesn't look too level from here. Might level out a little bit more, but at least it's dry. And we'll see if my new Walmart gear can keep me warm tonight. I don't really feel like setting up the tent. I think I'm going to try it again inside, just because I think the weather report did say it'll snow tonight, or next morning. So I'd rather not have to clean all the snow off the tent if that happens, and plus I'm kind of thinking with the new gear I'll stay warm, but we'll see. Good morning. Started day 3. So day 2 went pretty well, I think. Spent a little bit more time than I wanted, you know, getting some things at Walmart and eating some tacos at Torchy's. But as I said in the other video, I still got up here. The pass that I wanted to drive was already snowed. So, I mean, I got up almost all the way to the 2 campgrounds up there, but the sign said the campgrounds were closed, and I'm not sure like how strict they are about it, if they care if you go there, if it's just not supported or what the deal is. But I figured I'd look around, and thankfully I ran into that guy, and he said that this place here would be just fine, and it was. Nobody bugged me. It got pretty cold. It got down to 16 degrees, but I was a lot warmer with all my new gear from Walmart, so that was awesome. I don't think I ever really felt cold other than when I had to get up to go pee. But it's about 10,000 feet here, so that's 4 times the elevation that I had from the night before last. I also remembered to crack the windows to get just a little bit of fresh air, and so I feel pretty good. I got like a little bit of a dull headache, but I'm pretty sure that's the altitude. So I'm gonna chug a bunch of water, try to hydrate. I'm gonna get out of here. It's just after 6. I actually woke up on my own about 5:45, and I could tell it was ready. It was time to get moving. There's no sense just hanging out here. It's kind of cloudy. The sun's gonna rise, but it's not really a great landscape for it. So, and as the weather was predicted, it did snow just a little bit, just a light dusting. But hardly anything to add to what was here already. So for today, the plan, let's see if I can set this up so you can see it. Here we go. So we are, it's hard to read from this far. We're down here. And so we're not too far from this Lavetta. I'm gonna take some trails, non-paved roads. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's not too snowed over. And we're gonna cut across here again, trying to skip the highways and use some of the trails. So we're gonna cut right through here, head up to Medano Pass. I originally planned on making that a campsite for a night. We'll see. I'm gonna get there pretty early, I think, like definitely before noon. So it seems like a waste to just sit there. We'll see what it's like. If it's really cool, then maybe I'll just chill and have a light day. But assuming it's, nothing crazy spectacular, I'm gonna cut over the pass, go through, and then it's gonna be a bunch of highway driving, unfortunately. So I think it's about 3 hours from Alamosa to Durango. And then my ultimate goal is to get up here to the northeast corner of Canyons of the Ancients National Monument, because on my last day alone, I'm gonna cut through that and head over to meet Jordan. So my idea is that I looked at this area here, and there's quite a few trails, a lot of national forest, a little of BLM land. So I figure with the national forest, and then there's some actual campsites too, I should be able to find a place to stay. But that puts me a day ahead if I get all the way over there tonight. Yeah, because today's Sunday and I don't meet Jordan until Tuesday. But I could cut through and go over into, Bears Ears and find some place to check out one day early and just kind of get in there. We'll see. Otherwise, I may just stop up here at Medano. Not really sure. But it's time to get moving.